And now you can see the Backseat Mogul Show in all its video glory on our YouTube page at roughedge.tv. It's tiki time at Harbor Cove Cafe. Dive into the tropical paradise at the end of Spinnaker Drive in Ventura with vibrant drinks, delicious bites, award-winning fish and chips, and more. Now featuring extended hours and happy hour. Fridays from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m., Saturday and Sunday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Harbor Cove Cafe, the hidden treasure at the end of Spinnaker Drive. Visit harborcovecafe.net for more information.
Showbiz is a cruel and shallow money trench, a long plastic hallway where thieves and pimps run free and good men die like dogs for no good reason. There's also a bad side.
This is the Backseat Mogul Show live here on Rough Edge FM. I am R. Scott Bolton. I am the Backseat Mogul, and this is the show where we talk about show business. Johnny D over there eating his Taco Bell breakfast.
That's a good burrito.
$2, man.
Well, makes it even better.
Kind of hard to beat for $2. But anyway, I thought I was going to catch him off guard because I told him, okay, we're going. And he ignored me. He was too busy on his phone. But he heard it and got on in time. So didn't catch him off guard. Too bad. That would have been funny.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a lot to talk about today. Johnny's going to do his take on A Working Man. You heard my take last week. Not a fan, as much of a fan as Jason Statham as I am. Excuse me. That movie was too much. It was too over the top, especially the characters and the writing and the costumes. All those three things in tandem were just a killer for me. But we'll let Johnny talk about that. We're also going to review The Amateur, and we're also going to review Drop, 2 movies that we saw in theaters this week. And then we're going to talk about Sinners, which we're planning on seeing on Monday, and its box office, and it looks terrific. And also its Rotten Tomato rating. So we got a lot to talk about today. Yeah. And then we're going to do some general news as well. So let's start with Johnny D talking about A Working Man.
It's Jason Statham. Of course, I liked it. But with that being said, all his acting, his dialogue, the direction given to him, I thought was great.
Statham was the best part of the movie.
Exactly.
Yes. And usually that's enough.
Mm-hmm. But
it was so ridiculous.
Yeah, you got people who are dressed like, I don't know, vampires maybe.
Well, they weren't supposed to be. They were supposed to be old Russian oligarchs or something. Instead, they were all dressed up like vampires, you know. Yeah. And that one guy, the guy who was the youngest of the Russians, mm-hmm. with his ruffled shirt. Come on, who's costuming these people?
It could have been the same person that costumed Tom Cruise in Interview with the Vampire,
right? And it shouldn't have been, because that was an appropriate costume.
Exactly.
Not here. But, and what about the throne with the exhaust pipes?
Well, when I first saw it, I remember you talking about that last week, and then when I watched it, I'm going, wait a minute, those exhaust pipes or are those baseball bats?
They were exhaust pipes, and they were not. It was just stupid. It was like Game of Thrones with exhaust pipes instead of spikes.
And then the head guy of the gang leader of the motorcycle gang, he gets on his motorcycle and he puts his helmet on that's got horns.
Yes, big old Viking horns.
Then I see somebody else that's wearing.
They have skull masks on and stuff.
And I think somebody else had a skull or Viking horns. And then I saw somebody else who had a samurai, not a samurai, but a Japanese, I guess it could have been a samurai warrior headgear. I was like, of course, you only see it from the back and you know exactly what it is.
And see, that was my problem. I mean, the movie is called A Working Man. It should have been this gritty, not necessarily realistic, but Jason Statham realistic movie. You know, you don't need all these stupid costumes. It was like the Warriors were doing battle with Jason Statham. I was just disappointed. And then, like I said, in the dialogue, I mean, you heard the lines, lock and load.
Yeah, it's like
He says lock and load. Come on.
now I can understand him saying it because he was former military.
That's not the point. You're missing the point.
I know.
It's such
I know.
a cliche now.
It is. It is. But the fact that he was former military, you go, okay.
He could have said something else.
Yeah.
Let's go would have been better than lock and load.
The young girl who, this is going to be a spoiler alert, so
We'll give you 6 seconds. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006.
Towards the end, when Jason Statham's character rescues the young girl.
There's a spoiler. Everybody knows it's Jason's going to save her.
Oh yeah. It's what she does when she leaves that room.
I don't remember. I pretty much checked out by then. Oh yeah.
It's like, really?
Yeah. And you heard the line. That's what she said. Really? You used that in that movie? Eye rolling.
Yeah.
It's too bad. It's too bad. It was a bad script. Stallone did not do a good job with it. He did an Expendables job on this one.
And the direction was terrible.
The direction, it was worse than Beekeeper, that's for sure.
Oh.
But he let it get out of control, so it's on him.
Well, you mentioned last week that the guy likes.
I said he had a fetish for kinky characters.
Yeah, comic book characters, and yeah, that's pretty much what he did with the motorcycle gang, the Russian oligarchs.
And how about
their hitman?
The two final assassins who show up, Uncle Fester and Marilyn Manson. Come on, it was just
and
I mean that guy looked exactly like Uncle Fester, did he not?
Yeah,
he had the long coat on and everything. It's like the minute he walked on screen, my wife and I just laughed. It's like, really? And then the Marilyn Manson guy, because he's an assassin who kind of looks like Marilyn Manson, he just shoots his gun and for any reason whatsoever, and the whole time they're all bad.
Yeah, and the coat he's wearing, it's I don't know if it was shiny leather or if it was pleather or plastic.
It was a tarp.
Yeah, but it was floor length. It's like, terrible.
Can't you give me real assassin types?
Oh, and then there's the two sons of the one oligarch. The way they were dressed,
the twins,
yeah.
in the twin. I don't know. Was it Paisley? Tracks, jogging suits with
shiny jogging suits.
Yeah, and a bucket hat.
Yeah, both of them wearing bucket hat, and they were, even though they were different colors, it was the same outfit.
Yeah, exactly the same. Yes, but different colors. Yeah, it was. There's a lot of mistakes made in The Working Man, and like I said, I'm glad it's doing well. Because I want more Jason Statham movies. We have Beekeeper 2 right around the horizon. I'm sure Meg 3 is in the works, and I want to see those movies. So I'm glad that this is doing well, because that'll help bolster those two. But it just was not my favorite Statham movie by a long shot. I'll still buy it in Blu-ray because it's Jason.
Oh yeah,
but
I mean, if I want to watch something that hokey of Jason Statham, then I'm going to watch the Crank series.
There you go.
Because you expect it.
See, that was the difference. Crank knew it was crazy.
Yeah.
Crank knew it was nuts. Working Man doesn't. And that kind of, that kind of blew it for me. I
mean, you knew going in what you were going to be seeing with Crank.
Right.
So
let's see what Rotten Tomatoes is sitting at for that right now, because we're going to be talking about some other movies there too. But let's see. Last I saw, it had gone way down from its original. Well, you have to spell it right, Scott. There we go. All right. So right now, A Working Man, and we're going to tell you both the audience score and the critic score. The critic score is a brutal 50%. That's not too bad, but it's less than what they consider fresh. The people, though, the audience, 87%. So people are liking it. They like their Statham, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, that movie is sitting at. I lost that page too. John, why are you stop messing with my computer when I'm not around?
Well, that seemed like the thing to do at the time.
Yeah. Let's try this here. There we go. A Working Man, which cost $40 million to make, by the way, has currently grossed $80 million. So it's going to squeak by and make some money, but just barely. Not like Beekeeper did, which I think cost $12 million and grossed more than that. So anyway, I mean, it's not bad. That's a pretty big hit there. So
yeah, one of my favorite lines in Beekeeper is where he tells this one guy tells this woman, it's Beekeeper, and she says, "A beekeeper, beekeeper."
Yeah.
I mean, I loved it.
It was like the John Wick thing. John Wick? It's like Beekeeper? Because they know they're in trouble if it's a beekeeper. Yeah, I love the Beekeeper movie too. The lines in that were much better than this one. And I also like the character so much better because he's just determined to, I mean, he walks up to that building with his 2 cans of gas and the security guards come up and they go, "What do you think you're doing with those?" He goes, "I'm going to burn the place down." Just tells him, you know. And then one of my favorite scenes in the Beekeeper is the FBI or whoever it was, the SWAT team is out front talking about, okay, so they're waiting for him to get to this building. And they're all, now he could go around back and come in this window, or he could go up over here. And Statham walks up and goes, no, I'm going to walk in the front door. That's just great stuff. See, Working Man had none of that kind of humor. It did, or that kind of.
Oh, there was another hole towards the beginning of the movie. He's on the job site, and these bad
mofos.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I think they were Hispanic. It could have been gang people. Started beating up on one of the guys.
One of his workers.
Jason. Yeah, one of his workers. And Statham pretty much beats them up.
Yeah.
All of them. And they left that hole.
Yes, they did. I'm currently reading the book. It's the book is by Chuck Dixon, and it is called, I'm pulling it up right here, folks. It is called, well, I don't know what it's called. Anyway, it's the first book. There's 10 books that I've got in the Levon Cade series. And the first book is the one that the Working Man was taken from. And in 2 pages, they explain that whole situation. Like, why didn't you take a couple of seconds and explain it in the movie? And they didn't. And I only read the first couple of chapters so far, but I'm really enjoying the book. I told Shelley afterwards, I said, I bought 10 of those books. They better be, excuse me, folks, better than that movie. And thank goodness so far it is. So anyway, so that was a Working Man. John liked it better than I did.
But it was hokey.
It was way hokey, and I was disappointed in it. But at least I've got some more Statham to look forward to, and that's always good. Where's the Spy sequel? You have to say that every time.
Oh yeah, where is the Spy sequel? That. Well, I made it, didn't I?
Did you get a suit? Well, I made it, didn't I? Yeah, it's just awesome stuff. So Johnny also went to the theater and saw The Amateur, and The Amateur stars Rami Malek as a CIA tech guy.
Analyst.
Yep. Well, he's more than that. He's a decoder and a tech guy. And
he works in the basement.
Yeah, exactly. And he, unfortunately, his wife is killed by terrorists
in London.
And he goes to his bosses and says, I want to hunt down and kill the people who killed my wife.
Because he figured out who they were.
Not at that point he hadn't.
I thought he
Why don't you wait and let me tell the story before you start interjecting your incorrect statements?
Because it wouldn't be me if I didn't.
That's absolutely true. So, no, not at that point. He didn't know who they were. He just told them that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to find them and kill them. Right. So they tell him, they laugh in his face and they tell him, no, you can't. You're an analyst. You're a decoder. You have no business being out in the field. Well, he digs up some dirt on some people and brings it to their attention. And all of a sudden they're training him and sending him out into the field to get the people who killed his wife. But they were trying to cover their back too. So there's a little bit of that going on as well. So Malek goes through the movie and does exactly what he promises. He hunts down those people and takes care of them one by one and does it in a fashion. Like he said, he tells them at one point, you don't have the fighting techniques. You don't have the shooting techniques. He goes, what about the techniques I do have? Because he's got all the CIA's technical things at his fingertips. Very good movie. I thought it was great. I thought Malek, that guy is so good. You see every lick of emotion on his face. Everything when he's thinking, you can almost hear his thought processes going because his face telegraphs that to you. The rest of the cast was great too, especially Lawrence Fishburne and Colt Mulhowney. Is that his name?
Oh, that's the guy who was one of the bosses.
Yes. Yeah. He's always great too. And
As a matter of fact, he's even in the upcoming Mission Impossible.
Yes, he is. He's in a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
But anyway, it was well written, well directed. It was far more believable than A Working Man, if you can believe that. And I especially liked, like I said, I especially liked Malik, and I especially liked the photography. I thought the cinematography was very, very good. Maybe because we're in a nice theater seeing it there, whatever, but I enjoyed it a lot. So The Amateur, I give a big thumbs up to. Johnny, what do you have to say about that?
If I had 5 thumbs on each hand, all 5 of them would be up. Yes.
That is the strangest statement I've ever heard. That sounds like an AI mistake.
Well, it comes from me. So I'm not going to say how it happened, but the way the first terrorist gets taken care of, and he didn't really do it, but
kind of
was instrumental in
that's
it.
For sure. Yes. Yeah, it's really good. And it's not doing great at the box office. It's a lot more expensive than the other movies. Let's take a look and see what we're sitting at for The Amateur right now. And my point in telling you this, folks, is that so you go see it, because it's worth going to see. It's almost at $40 million right now after being out for since April 9th. So that's 10 days and not great numbers. And like I said, I think this was I think that The Amateur's budget was $90 million, if I remember correctly.
I think it's going to be killer overseas.
The budget was only $10 million.
Oh,
so they're sitting pretty right now.
Oh, yeah.
If that's the same movie. Oh, no, budget was $60 million. $10 million just didn't sound right with all those sweeping things.
Yeah.
So 60, it's got a ways to go before it makes any money back.
But I think it's going to make the majority of its money in the European markets, especially probably in Egypt.
It's made 20 million in the United States and 17 million in overseas so far. But who knows if it's opened in China yet, because that's the biggest market in the world now. And it doesn't look like it has.
Does it show anything for Egypt? And the reason why I bring that up, Rami Malek, even though he's an American, he is also of Egyptian descent.
I do not see Egypt on the list.
I don't know what area that would be considered.
Neither do I. Anyway, it's not there, but
yeah, it could be considered North Africa, I guess.
We'll see. Well, it's open there and it's not doing great. So, I mean, it's doing okay, but it's not going to make it's probably not going to make its money back, which is unfortunate. So, both of us thumbs up for The Amateur. It's a nice action adventure movie that makes sense, that's clear, that's clever. And you got Malik, which is really hard to improve on.
There was another line that he did. Did he say, if you run fast enough, or if you jump
fast enough, you might just survive.
And then it goes, boom.
And
that was
in the trailer, so that's not a spoiler, really, folks.
Okay, so yeah, that I loved it.
Yeah.
I quite enjoyed that movie.
It's too bad it's not doing well, because I'd like to see another one.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see another one with that same group. It turns out just perfect. Yeah, and it's different because he's not using his fists or his guns to take care of things. He's using his brain and his tech to do this, and that makes it different. But other than that, it is your typical storyline for as far as an action adventure movie of that type is concerned.
The fact that he does work for the CIA and he does have a specific set of skills.
That's exactly right. My favorite line in that movie still, my favorite line from the trailer and my favorite line from the movie is Lawrence Fishburne saying, "Do you think you might have underestimated this individual?" Yeah, you probably did. So the other movie we saw in theaters this week was Drop. Drop is the movie that is about a young woman who's got a young son, and she goes on her first date in a long time. It's been a long time since she went on her first date.
Because she's widowed.
And yeah, that's right. Her husband is dead, and that's part of the storyline. That's a very important part of the storyline. Well, while she's at dinner with her date, who things are working out with pretty well, she starts getting these weird texts. And without going through each and every single text that she gets, and they're not exactly a text, they're drops. Somebody's sending her drops. That's where the title comes from. It boils down to the fact that unless she kills her date, there's a gunman at her house, and he's going to kill her son.
and sister.
And well, yeah, but it's more about the son. You know, the sister's there, but did they ever threaten the sister? No, they only threatened the son.
Right.
So, which is why I'm telling the story that way.
I've got to see this movie again simply because when the one bad guy pulls his mask off, it's like, okay, we saw him earlier. I'm sure we saw
something
him
tied together, but I couldn't remember.
I think we saw him in the restaurant.
That's entirely possible. That doesn't make sense. How could he be in the restaurant and at the house at the same time?
Because he left the restaurant.
I don't know. The film was directed by Christopher Landon, who did the Paranormal Activity, the marked ones, Happy Death Day to You, We Have a Ghost, and Freaky. I've seen We Have a Ghost, and I was not a fan. But this movie, I'm a big fan of. I thought Drop was amazing. It reminded me a little bit of Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, because the first part of the movie, and it's only an hour and 40 minutes, so it's not like that in that sense. But the first part of the movie is this intense but simmering cat and mouse story almost, as it leads up to the big thing. And then the snap of fingers, it goes freaking wild. Yeah. That movie just explodes, and you're pushed back into your chair watching. I mean, there were strikes that were being made on characters that I was feeling, because that movie drew me in so hard and then just pounded me in the head, and I loved it for that. The cast was terrific as well. I thought I had it pulled up here, but I don't. Yes, I do. Megan Fahey from White Lotus was the star. Also had Brendan Skellner, Violet Bean, and who's your guy? Reed Diamond. Reed Diamond, who is terrific in this movie, by the way, as well.
I've seen him in a lot of things, TV, movies, and I got to admit, most of the time, he's playing a bad guy.
Well, who knows what he plays in this movie?
Yeah.
But he's very good in this, is just very, very good.
And I wouldn't really say he was a bad guy.
What, you're giving away too much, dude.
That's why I said I wouldn't really say he was a bad guy. I was going to leave it at that.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't.
Going into this, I had no idea what to expect. I thought Drop had to do with, because in the trailer it shows
the window break and she sucked out the windows.
Right.
That was my initial thought too. And then I realized later, it's like, Dory, it's drops. She's getting the drops on her phone.
I'd never heard of that before. If I had, I'd totally spaced it. I didn't realize that's.
You never heard of airdrop?
I thought that had something to do with something getting dropped out of an airplane or a helicopter.
It's kind of the same thing.
Oh, okay.
By the way, going back to the amateur real quick, it was 61% on the critics, which leaves it in fresh territory, and 89% from the audience. So that's good. That is good. And then Drop. And honestly, I like Drop better. I thought Drop was the best movie I saw this week. It was amazing. It's sitting at 84% reviews, so much higher there for the critics, but a little lower on the audience scale, 80%. You know what's funny about Drop is that as wild and as crazy as it was, and I'm talking about the story from the beginning, even the simmering part to the explosive part, it felt real. It felt like this could happen. Now, you know, it couldn't happen, or probably shouldn't happen, but you felt like they were telling you a story that could happen. Never felt that way for a second with A Working Man, unfortunately. So recommend both of those movies. Amateur with Rami Malek and Lawrence Fishburne. Fishburne, by the way, terrific in this movie.
Yes.
And Drop with Megan Fahey. And just a really intense, well-made, very stylish movie. When they wanted you to focus on a certain character, the lights all dimmed except for that character.
Yeah.
So you're paying attention to that guy. It was very, very well made, and I love the style of it too. So,
well, when I saw that Reed Diamond was in it, I knew right away who it was going to be. But then going through the movie, it's like, oh no, wait a minute. Oh, it's going to be the bartender. Oh, wait a minute. No, it's that guy who's always on his phone. In the guy with the beard. No, wait a minute. No. It's the piano player. I totally got lost with who
that was supposed the whole to be. Point. Well, you shouldn't know. And I didn't know. I had no clue because I'm familiar. I know Reed, but I'm not that familiar with his work. So, but we just gave that whole movie away. Nice going.
Well,
no, he did the whole movie. There's no point in going, folks. John just spoiled it for you.
No, go see The Amateur and then go see Drop.
Go see Drop. Amateur is very good, I agree, but if I have to choose, I would say Drop first and then The Amateur. So there. I pulled up this picture here because this is going to be our new building. We're going to be moving out to this Masonic temple sometime in the next year or so.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to share that with everybody as part of the Harmony Project. So Google that and you'll find out more information. There's a page where you can donate and help us with the building, because it's going to take a lot of work to get us all in there. We got some stuff to do. But isn't that a beautiful building?
A big question.
It's not a big question. It's just a question.
Well, for me, it's a big question. Obviously, it's more than one floor.
It's 3 floors.
Elevator?
I don't know. I haven't been inside.
Oh, please don't let there be stairs.
You better start getting into shape. But
no, that's here in Santa Paula, isn't it?
Yeah. It's if you look at this shot, that's taken from my bank's parking lot.
Okay.
So it's right across the street from my bank, which is kind of helpful.
And which bank is that?
U.S. Bank.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm looking forward to that. And I love that fact that it'd be so great to be in a building that's of that kind of historical importance. Yeah. Probably not when there's an earthquake.
Well, that's true too.
But I don't know.
Unless it's been retrofitted. It may be a long time ago.
It might have been. And I don't know. But
now, do they get the whole building?
The whole building's going to be theirs. Yep.
Oh, wow.
2 theaters, a commercial kitchen, recording studio. And it's going to be just awesome. It's going to be incredible.
Nice.
Yeah. So looking forward to that. Again, that's the Harmony Project. Just Google that and look at it. Donate some money if you'd like, and help us with our new building. It's going to be cool. Okay. Oh, speaking of donations, and I've realized some of you are listening, and if you're listening, just Google the Masonic building in Santa Paula, and you'll get a picture of it. You'll see what's there. Don't forget to GoFundMe with Jeffrey Genet. His movie is called First Run. The full title of the FundMe is Help Us Finish Our Adventure Comedy Film First Run. So just look for Genet, which is Genet, and First Run, and I'm sure it'll pop there on GoFundMe. If you're watching, you can just scan that little code right there, that QR code, and it'll take you to the page, and you can see what you can do to help out. The stars of that movie are R. Scott Bolton and John DeRuvo. And if you believe that, you'll buy this watch. But we are in it. We do have cameos in the movie, which I'm looking forward to. So there's that. The box office this weekend, Sinners has opened this weekend. And Sinners, you want to talk impressive?
Yeah.
Let me tell you what the reviews are for Sinners according to Rotten Tomatoes. So the critics they kind of like it a little bit. They give it a 98%. 226 reviews, 98% good reviews out of that. The audience, a little different. 2,500 reviews, 97%. This movie is getting rave reviews. It's going to probably open at number 2 this weekend at the box office because Minecraft is still out there. It beat Minecraft yesterday, but what happens on Saturday and Sundays?
That's true.
Younger audience goes to the movie. So they'll probably go see Minecraft, which is still is close to, I think, $600 million already. And Sinners will fall behind and probably drop to number 2. It would be awesome if it passed it.
Yeah.
But we'll see. But the thing I'm so excited about Sinners is that, and everybody who listens to this show knows that I hate when people tell me Hollywood's run out of ideas, because Hollywood has not run out of ideas. They may have run out of ideas of what you'll go see. So they keep making Avenger movies. They keep making other kind of movies, things that we've already seen that. Yeah, that's because you saw it before and you'll come back. You'll go to a sequel before you go to something fresh and original. Sinners, very fresh and original. Why? Because it's as much a movie about music as it is about horror. And apparently it's a perfect twining of those two. And I'm just dying to see it. I can't wait to see it.
The same with me. Now, the music, I'm hoping it's going to be, because I can't remember what the music was in the trailers. But do you remember?
It's hard rock and heavy metal, especially death metal.
Is it really? No, it's not. What was the movie that Ralph Macchio did where
Crossroads.
Oh, yeah. Crossroads was a great movie.
It's okay.
And the guitar playing, which was by Steve Vai.
Steve Vai. Yep.
Steve Vai. I'm hoping this will be the same kind of music because I really, really enjoyed that.
I don't think it will be. It'll be close to that probably, but it probably, my feeling is it's going to be a little older school than that, but we'll see. I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know. Crossroads, 76% good reviews with the critics and 82% with the audience. I didn't like Crossroads when I first saw it, but I probably should see it again. I don't know why. Anyway, that's the news about that stuff. And again, Drop is my favorite movie that I saw this week. I also love The Amateur as well. And so in that order, I would recommend them. I think John's the other way around. He liked the Amateur more than he liked Drop.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. If all three movies, it would be for me, Amateur, Drop, and then Working Man.
Yeah, that's where Working Man belongs. It's just
unfortunately. So
it's not classic Statham.
Right.
It's not classic Statham.
Do you remember the first Statham movie you ever saw? Oh, of course you do.
I actually I don't. I mean, I can't remember. It was probably the remake of The Italian Job.
Yep,
but I don't know that for sure.
For me, that's the one that I recall.
Yeah,
which I thought they did a good job on.
They did do a good job. It was a good movie.
They should have used the original Mini Coopers.
What did they use?
The BMW Mini Cooper.
Were they newer?
Oh yeah, it was the new style.
Oh, okay, they probably made a deal and got paid to use those cars, and I don't blame them. I'd have done that too.
Because in the original movie, they used the British Mini Cooper, and some of the scenes and the chase scenes were just, especially when they're going through the sewers. I quite enjoyed that movie.
Both of those movies are great.
Oh, yeah.
They really are. They're both really great. I was watching something recently. It was The Neighborhood with Cedric the Entertainer.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that show. It's just very funny. But there was a Subaru featured throughout the entire show, and it was always parked at the curb, and it was always shiny and clean and beautiful. And I thought, Subaru paid for that. And sure enough, sponsorship provided by Subaru. It was funny because the story was about the character Eddie. Eddie, what's his name? I'm sorry, I got to look it up.
Eddie Bracken. No,
he's not Eddie Bracken.
Oh wow.
But the guy's a really good actor, but he's kind of like Matt Bomer in the new series. Matt Bomer plays a guy who's just so dumb that you just laugh at him. But Bomer says, "I wanted to play that after playing White Collar. I wanted to play something a little dumber." So he's having fun doing that. And this shows this character's the same way.
After White Collar, didn't he a movie he did? It's the one where he could give his life to his life. What would you call it?
His life.
Right. No, because, it takes place in the future, I guess. And you pay for things with your life things that are on your arm.
That was Wahlberg.
No, that wasn't Wahlberg.
It was.
No, it was not.
It was.
$5.
Oh, it was Timberlake.
Yes.
You didn't know that either. You thought it was that guy. Yeah, it was Timberlake. That was a great movie.
I never really saw it, but I would like to.
You didn't see it, but you knew it was about that?
My favorite Timberlake movie is?
Jaws of Revenge?
No, Southland.
Oh, that's a pretty brutal movie.
Yeah. I quite enjoyed that movie.
I want to look this up. In Time was the name of that movie, because that is a great movie. If you haven't seen In Time, see that movie. And you said Max Greenfield was in it, right? That's what you said?
No.
Look at that cast. Justin Timberlake, Olivia Wilde, Johnny Galecki. I mean, that's a good cast.
This is for In Time?
Matt Bomer. There's Matt Bomer.
Yeah.
You're talking about. Yeah. I don't know how big a part he had, but anyway, my point is that now you've got me completely off track. Completely off track.
Sorry.
So anyway, in The Neighborhood, they had this Subaru, and it made me aware that product placement is alive and well.
Oh yeah.
The story was about Max Greenfield. I hope that's his name. Now I feel bad about getting it wrong. Yeah, Max Greenfield, who's really a good actor, but plays this character like he's kind of got the Gilligan complex. You think, is this guy not that great an actor? No, he's so good. He's playing this character that dumb. Anyway, he gets a rental car from his mechanic because his car's in the shop.
Mm-hmm.
So he's driving this Subaru. Well, he wants to keep the Subaru, so he doesn't go back to get his car. He's driving around in the Subaru. And like I said, the whole way through, I'm going, this is just product placement. I can see what they're doing here. And I'm okay with product placement as long as it's not glaring. This was very close to glaring. And the thing is, even after he said they said he turned it back in. It was still parked in front of his house. It's like they must have paid for the whole episode.
Well, one thing about I've noticed on TV shows and in movies, if they don't get the product placement, you know what that vehicle is. You know it's a Chevy, you know it's a Ford.
You do.
Yeah, but they've blacked out the Ford or Chevrolet emblem or the name. And it's just like, well, okay, that means they didn't.
They do that with everything, because you look at the cereal boxes. If the cereal boxes aren't fake cereal boxes, they're taped out too. That's how, because you're not paying for that advertising, so you're not getting that advertising.
Right.
Plus, you may have a actual advertiser who's selling cereal, and they have the competition cereal on the show.
Yeah,
that's a problem. So that's why they black that out for that stuff. Yeah, I first noticed product placement on the James Bond movies, because the James Bond movies are famous for their product placement deals. And it's not a big deal. The one that always sticks in my head, I think it was Live and Let Die, when the big boat chase is going on. Every scene you see of Bond on the boat, you see Evinrude right in front of him. It's like, oh, they made sure that the angle included the brand name of the boat. But as long as it's not, as long as they don't stop and say, Evinrude, it's the best boat you can buy, I don't mind. They're getting part of the movie paid for, and James Bond movies are $350 million. So you got to have some money coming from somewhere.
Remember in the movie Man with the Golden Gun?
Yes.
Where he jumps the corkscrew bridge.
Yes, it's all twisted.
Oh yeah. I like the way he goes to that AMC dealership, and AMC stood for American Motors Corporation. And that car that he does the flip with, that was an AMC car. I just thought that was product placement.
It probably was.
Yeah.
Probably was. Very famous stunt.
And
a real
and
stunt.
it was a stunt. It was not computer generated.
Nope, didn't have that back then.
Yep.
So, yeah, good stuff. What else we got to talk about here? Let's see what else is in the news.
Oh, there's an upcoming movie that I'm really looking forward to seeing, and that's The Accountant 2.
Here's the thing. I watched The Accountant. I liked The Accountant up until the end, and I thought the end was stupid. Stupid.
I was surprised when we find out.
Don't give it away.
I'm not.
You're giving away enough today.
I know, but when we find out
the identity, let's just say that.
Yeah.
See, I was surprised and I was disappointed. I thought that was lame. And it soured the whole movie for me. Now, that being said, I will rewatch The Accountant this week because I want to see it again before I go see The Accountant 2. Buzz is very high for that, by the way. People are very excited about Accountant 2. And Ben Affleck needs a hit. So I'm hoping that that's the one that'll work for him. Because of, the action and stuff in the first account were pretty good. But that ending I was just so disappointed in that. But again, it's just me. The movie made a ton of money and enough to generate a sequel that's out in 2 weeks, right?
Something like that.
Or is it next week?
Soon
enough. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. So let's look at some news and see what we got going on here. There's all kinds of news. The director of Sinners wants to revive X-Files, and in fact has actually talked to Gillian Anderson already. So I don't know that
as a movie or TV series.
I don't know the details. We'll find out. But I'm thinking after Sinners and his previous successes, he'll probably be able to do whatever he wants to do. So that's some good news there. We'll follow that, of course, as we go along. Ryan Gosling and Sean Levy have announced they're doing a Star Wars movie together. The movie is called Star Wars Starfighter. It's due out May 2027. So sadly, Johnny probably won't be able to see it. And
wait, what? You know something I don't know?
Gosling, here's my thing. I think Ryan Gosling is doing a Star Wars movie with Sean Levy because he wants to do a Star Wars movie. I get that. But I also feel that I'd rather see him in an original project. You know what I'm saying? First of all, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. And I know that Star Wars fans go from hot to cold depending on how good the current series is on Disney Plus. My son's that way. He watches a Disney Plus series, Star Wars series, and he doesn't like it. So all of a sudden he hates Star Wars. But then the next year it's okay. So he's like, I'm okay with it. And there's such a empire out there now, no pun intended, of Star Wars material that it's hard to just say one or the other. I just wish Gosling would work on something original.
I wonder if he's going to sing and dance in this one.
I don't think so.
Good.
But who knows? Henry Cavill is doing a version of Highlander, it looks like. He was going to star for a certain studio. But apparently Lionsgate has dropped it, and Amazon MGM has picked it up. So we'll see what happens with Highlander.
I'm actually looking forward to him as McLeod. If that is the character that he plays.
I don't know. But here's the bad news. They probably kicks him out of James Bond.
Yeah.
So he may not be going there.
He'd be a good James Bond.
He would be. If I had to pick somebody, he would be among the top 5. Let's see. There's a sequel to Clueless. You remember Clueless with Alicia Silverstone? And here's the weird news. Alicia Silverstone is returning for this Clueless sequel. Don't know much more about that except that it's a series and it's going to be at Peacock. So NBC streaming network will be there. Glenn Powell will star in a Judd Apatow comedy about a fallen country music star. Right now, Glenn Powell is the guy to go to. He's the when I think of movie star, current movie stars, Glenn Powell is the first one that comes to mind. And
yeah, I think the first thing I saw him in, probably the only thing I've seen him in, was Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, that was his big jumping point right there. But he's done a very funny rom-com since then, and Twisters. He was in Twisters.
I've not seen Twisters yet.
And
I saw the original Twister. As a matter of fact, I lived in Tornado Alley for a while.
The rumors are that the new Mission Impossible will be the last Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise. But the other rumor is that Tom Cruise is looking for somebody to take his place. I'm thinking he could do worse than Glenn Powell. So,
well, actually, I can't remember which movie it was, but they brought in Jeremy Renner. And I thought he was going to be replacing Tom Cruise as the new guy in the field. But he didn't replace him. He just played another one of the characters.
Jeremy Renner is 54. Tom Cruise is 62. So I don't know. I think they need to go younger.
Yeah.
They're going to start a new series. I mean, remember, this is the 8th Mission Impossible movie. So I don't know. I think they both are. I'm sure Tom Cruise is, quitting while he's ahead. He jumped off tall buildings and hung onto airplanes. And
did he do Taps or Risky Business first?
I think Risky Business was first. I think it was. What else we got here? Clean Slate, the comedy series, has been canceled after one season on Amazon.
Never watched it.
I didn't get around to it either. Let's see. We got more Star Wars news. There's going to be a Darth Maul animated series coming to Disney Plus.
Okay.
So, well, you got to keep that makeup alive. That was pretty cool makeup.
That was the one, the red and black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else we got here going? I'm looking through the news. Just as this one's kind of weird. Jennifer Lopez and Robert Zemeckis are going to do a Netflix adaptation of The Last Mrs. Parrish. The combo there seems odd to me because Robert Zemeckis, how do I say this without being rude? I don't mean to be rude. Robert Zemeckis is a Hollywood legend. This is the man who directed Forrest Gump. This is the man who directed Back to the Future. And then Jennifer Lopez, who I think is a really good actress and can be, sometimes she's not so great, but but she's at a lower level, I would think. So it's interesting that the two of them are getting together for this Last Mrs. Parrish movie. Now, I don't know what Last Mrs. Parrish is, but I probably should know. It's probably some big deal. But I'm curious, I think she's up to it. Don't get me wrong. It's just that I would have never thought Zemeckis would be working with Jennifer Lopez. That's all.
I've never heard of the first Mrs. Parrish.
Or the last.
Well, obviously we have heard of the last one.
We have now. What else we got here? Talking about
Black Johnny Depp.
That's Ryan Coogler, who's the director of Sinners.
I got to tell you, that's when you said that, I'm going.
There's a picture of him on IMDb that looks just like that. What more do we have here?
I'm looking forward to that Sinners.
Sinners
Most
will be very
definitely.
good. We'll tell you all about that next week, folks, because we're going to check that out this week. I guess I don't have anything else to discuss at the moment. I will tell you this: Sinners does have a post-credit scene, so we got to remember that. There's that movie we were talking about, Sneaks. Sneaks is a movie about sneakers, and Johnny was reading about it, and it sounds kind of like it might be fun. I know I have a friend who collects sneakers, and I have a hunch he was there opening night.
Well, the thing is, as soon as they showed that picture of Sneaks, my first thought was, well, they did a commercial with talking flip-flop.
That's true. And that's apparently became a big deal too.
What's all that about the different vampires?
See, this is why I shouldn't put the screen on when John's here, because he jumps ahead of me.
I love vampires.
I know, but I'm going to get to it. Otherwise, it wouldn't be there.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm not.
I know.
Okay.
This is from therap.com, and we'll wrap it up with this. See what I did there? The best vampire movies of all time. And it's just a list, so I'm just going to go through it quickly. It's not in any order. But of course, Nosferatu, A Symphony of Horror. This is the original one from 1922. Take a look at that image, John. That's still an iconic image of a vampire. Mm-hmm. That movie is 103 years old.
Wow.
Think about that. And that's still an iconic image of a vampire.
That's the same year my mother was born, 1922.
Hopefully she didn't look like that.
Oh, no.
Okay, just want to make sure. Dracula and Dracula from 1931. Todd Browning's official adaptation starring who? Bela Lugosi. Very good movie as well. Vampire from 1932. Horror of Dracula from 1958. Christopher Lee.
Yeah, I was going to say Christopher Lee.
And that was his debut as Count Dracula. That was a good one. The Vampire Lovers from 1970. You know what? I always wanted to see that movie, but I was too young then. But I bet I can find it and watch it now.
Was that the one with
Ingrid Pitt?
Okay, no, I'm thinking of a different one. She got killed by Manson.
No, that was the Vampire Hunters.
Yeah.
Which might be up on the list.
And if I remember correctly, it had a subtitle.
It did. A second title that was much longer. The Vampire Lovers from 1970. Captain Kronos, Vampire Hunter from 1974.
I don't remember that one.
I remember it. Haven't seen it. Martin from 1978. Directed by George A. Romero, Night of the Living Dead guy.
Don't remember that one.
I've got that on DVD, but I haven't watched it in ages. Dracula from 1979.
That I saw
Frank
that
Langella,
one.
directed by John Badham.
As a matter of fact, every time I think about that particular one, I see that one scene where he's on the ship and he's up, not in the crow's nest, but you can see him. He's up on one of the masts. Thank you. That is vividly ingrained in my brain.
My mom loved that movie so much, she said that Frank Langella can suck her neck any day. That's what because he was very romantic, Dracula, and that very seductive. And Laurence Olivier was Van Helsing.
Oh, really? It's been so long since I saw that movie. And after seeing that, and then he does The Body of Evidence, it's like, oh, God.
Langella's an incredible actor.
Yeah.
The Hunger from 1983. That was directed by Tony Scott and starred Susan Sarandon, Catherine Deneuve, and David Bowie. I should check that out again.
Yeah.
Fright Night from 1985.
Remember that one.
I love that's the original Fright Night, and I do love that movie. It says it's a fiendishly clever rendition of Alfred Hitchcock's Rear Window with a supernatural twist. I never thought of it that way, but it's true. It is. It's absolutely true. Vampire Hunter D, of course, is an anime film from 1985. The Lost Boys from 1987.
I love that movie.
With Kiefer Sutherland and all. Near Dark from 1987. That was also very good as well. Vampire's Kiss from 1989 with Nicolas Cage. I said Nicolas Cage. That's all you need to know. Bram Stoker's Dracula from 1992. That's the Francis Ford Coppola. I need to see that movie again because I hated that movie when I saw it.
Gary Oldman was fantastic.
He's Gary Oldman.
As Dracula.
Yeah.
And that also had John Wick in it.
John Wick? That'd be cool.
He later became John Wick.
Oh, Keanu Reeves. Kronos from 1993. That was by Guillermo del Toro. So you must see it if you haven't.
I just don't remember that one.
Interview with the Vampire, of course, from 1994 with Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise.
I read that book by Anne Rice and thoroughly enjoyed the book.
I have a question about that, though, because I'd read the book last year, the year before, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing I don't understand is Lestat is a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
He's not, but they all love him. Everybody thinks it's such a romantic, wonderful. No, he's a horrible creature. He does horrible, vicious things to the other characters in the book. He's just a jerk and has very little sympathy. What made him this? I don't get it.
Because he sired a bunch of vampires.
Well, so what? That doesn't change the fact he's a jerk.
Well, yeah.
I don't understand how he became what he became based on that book.
When I read that book and Anne Rice describes Lestat, she was describing Rutger Hauer. I mean, word for word, eyelash for eyelash. She described Rutger Hauer because she wanted him, if they ever made a movie, wanted him to play the part. So when I heard that, a lot of people heard that Tom Cruise was going to be Lestat, it's like, oh, no. Boy, were we wrong. Tom Cruise was fantastic.
Tom Cruise is fantastic. You say what you want about Tom Cruise. The man knows how to make movies.
That he does.
There's no two questions about it.
That movie he did where he's a Union cavalry officer who goes to Japan.
Last Samurai.
Yeah.
That was a great movie too.
It was.
Also on the list, we have The Addiction from 1995. Lily Taylor plays a young philosophy student. Blade from 1998. I love Blade. I could watch that movie.
I liked all the Blade movies.
I did too, even though they got progressively worse.
Yeah.
Shadow of the Vampire from 2000. That was the one with John Malkovich playing the filmmaker with Willem Dafoe playing the vampire. It was they're making the movie of. Let the Right One In from 2008. I've heard a lot about that. Have not seen that yet. Vamps from 2012 with Alicia Silverstone and Wallace Shawn. Well, there you go. Amy Heckerling directing. Haven't seen that. Let's see. A Girl Walks Home at Night. Walks Home Alone at Night from 2014. What We Do in the Shadows from 2014. Oh, yeah. I love that movie.
That was a TV series, wasn't it?
It was that sprang from the movie.
Oh, okay.
Abigail from 2024. I have not seen Abigail yet.
I haven't either.
My son and daughter-in-law saw it, though, and they didn't really like it. They were a little disappointed. And look, Johnny Sinners.
I was right. When we were talking about this the other day, I said, hey, it's got vampires. And you said, no.
I don't think they're vampires.
Demons.
We'll see.
Then why is it on this list?
That's what it says in this on therap.com, but we'll find out on Monday. If
yes, we will.
So I think they're just bloodsuckers, not vampires. Okay, moving on. All right, folks, that's it for this week's show. Thanks as always for listening. We will check back and watching. We will be back next week and we will talk about Sinners and whatever else happens during the week.
We haven't done in quite a while.
What?
Is it as bad as they say it was?
No, we haven't, and we need to.
Yeah.
I think I've got a movie too. Let's see if it's on Rotten Tomatoes real quick. And sorry for the vampire thing. I saw the list and I thought we got a few minutes. Let's just run through that real quick.
And for me, it's great because I like vampire stories.
Yeah, I don't. There's a movie called Stanley, and it's about a guy who raises snakes. And my son here it is right here. My son just gave me a copy of it. And I'm thinking that that might be a good movie for us to talk about next week. So maybe we'll talk about Stanley next week when we come back, but we'll see. Stanley, there it is, 1972. 1970. Stanley is a 1972 American horror film directed and produced by William Grefé about a Seminole Indian and a Vietnam veteran who used his collection of pet snakes to take revenge on their enemies. And the only star I recognize from the list is Alex Rocco.
Chris Robinson looks familiar.
Chris Robinson began his career as an actor in the 1950s. Diary of a High School Bride, Beast from Haunted Cave. I just watched Beast from Haunted Cave. Interesting. And Combat Season 1. That's probably where you know him from.
Oh, also 12 O'Clock High.
Yeah.
The TV series based on the movie.
That's right. So he was also the spokesman for Vicks Formula 44 cough syrup.
That's where I remember seeing his name was on the TV series 12 O'Clock High.
In 2013, Robinson's son Chris made a documentary film about Robinson's obsession with Beanie Babies. Robinson invested $100,000 to purchase numerous Beanie Babies as an investment, but lost the money when the value of the items plummeted. That's what happens in business, man.
Yep.
All right, folks. So maybe Stanley next week. Again, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.
Sinners next week too.
And Sinners we'll be talking about for sure. Very excited about that. Have a great week. We'll see you next time.
Hey,
Bye.
and go to your local theaters. Our local theater in Ventura, they've started closing Mondays and Tuesdays.
That makes my heart hurt.
And people, go to your local theaters. Help them to stay open because we need that venue.
We do. We need to keep theaters going. All right.
And I think one of the ways that to bring that one back, right now they're doing first run, but for quite a while they did second run movies, and the prices were half what they are now. But
the prices are still cheap compared to other theaters.
Oh yeah.
So we got to keep that in mind too. I don't know what they're going to do. I just hope they don't close because we need those little theaters. The more the better. So let's hope it stays open. All right. See you next week.
Hey, and just
it never ends.
Go do something.
See, I told you. Brought to you by The Grape, Ventura County's premier jazz venue and cocktail lounge, located at 2733 East Main Street in Ventura. For menu and music schedule, visit them online at thegrape.club. This has been a Rough Edge Studios production.